Morning Marianas, and welcome to Haggatnya. I'm Troy Torres.
And I'm Johnny Rosario.
It is 6:35 a.m. on Thursday, the 8th of September, 2022, and some 2,000 plus years ago, the Virgin Mary was born. Today is the feast of the birthday of our mother, our Holy Mother. So happy birthday to our Holy Mother Mary. Now, I don't have popcorn. I wish I thought about that.
Okay.
Because we are going to go over what was a slugfest yesterday at the Guam Chamber of Commerce gubernatorial debate. It's almost our entire news lineup for this morning when we come back from a commercial break. But I did get some ensamada, apple ensamada from 76 Circle K along with our coffees, so we can snack on this a little bit.
I'm not trying to eat that right now.
This is delicious.
I'll have the wonderful coffee, and thanks for the pumps of creamer.
Oh, yeah, no problem. When we come back from this short break, well, it's not really short. When we come back from hearing messages from our sponsors, we're going to bring you highlights from the gubernatorial debate. This is exciting stuff. Stick with us.
That this environment is for anybody that wants to try something new, whether it is CrossFit or powerlifting. We offer a safe space for someone who's never been athletically inclined to try something that they've never done before.
Welcome back. It was governor versus governor at yesterday's Guam Chamber of Commerce debate, and the slugfest lasted from the jump to the last word. Governor Lulian Guerrero repeatedly hammered her opponent, former Governor Felix Camacho, for an 8-year record at Adelup she claims was fraught with fiscal mismanagement that produced little results.
In the world of investments, past performance is a strong indicator of future performance. So where should you invest your vote in November? My opponent's performance over 8 years included the largest increase in government borrowing and debt, the highest number of homelessness, and the worst record on tourism in 30 years. And though we can't forget the past, together we are turning a new page. I have never been more confident in our ability to perform, to strengthen and grow Guam's future. I am confident, not simply because I am governor, but because of the determination and will of you, the people of Guam. I see it in every small business person who fought through the pandemic and stood by your employees. I see it in the strong return of tourism. Flights are already back at 50% from pre-COVID numbers. Restaurants are busting at the seams. $14 million in hotel upgrades are nearly done, and unemployment has recovered but to 5%, and it's still falling. I feel it in the new investments being made in broadband, in our march toward better health care for all, and in the strides we are making toward moving more and more services online. We will all rise with a strong economy that will boost our revenues and bring new jobs. I am ready to work harder for you, to expand the circle of opportunities for everyone, to realize the biggest infrastructure build in a generation, including a new hospital, to make our streets safer and repay the debt we owe for our veterans. Our future is bright. Please join Josh and I to move Guam forward, and I humbly ask for your vote.
Governor Felix Camacho returned to the stage for his first gubernatorial debate since 2006, and he did not disappoint. While Governor Lou Leon Guerrero repeatedly told a side of her opponent's history, Governor Camacho asked the chamber to remember his accomplishments. Fixing finances left by the Gutierrez administration, building new schools and police stations, and more. Governor Camacho said the record is clear about which of the two can lead Guam out of dark times, repeatedly slamming Governor Lou Leon Guerrero for bad leadership that has led to immense struggle and pain for the people of Guam.
When someone is given power and authority, their character is revealed. Lou, you have used your executive authority under a declared state of emergency to do whatever you wanted, issuing 71 executive orders, and have governed like a dictator. The legislature had no role, the businesses had no say, and you did as you pleased. The unforeseen consequences of your decisions are now manifesting. It's all on you. You are responsible for all that has happened. You called the shots. You have overreached your authority. You have used fear as a weapon. You have demanded compliance, saying, do as I say, or you will suffer the consequences. Surrender your freedoms and citizen rights, and I will give you money to survive. Big Gov Guam, using federal dollars given to us, will take care of you. You have created a situation where people are now dependent on government welfare. This is not good for our people. The great quit, the great resignation has taken place. Why work when one can stay home and get federal money for free? There's a huge labor shortage affecting our hotels, our restaurants and retail operations, and other businesses. Over $2 billion in federal dollars was given to Guam, but all the money in the world cannot buy the voters. They cannot buy their hearts and the minds of the people. They'll take the free money. Who wouldn't? But you cannot buy the votes to secure this election. Our people are not for sale. You brag about deficit elimination and surplus. With a $2 billion plus money given to us by the federal government, even Mickey Mouse could handle that. So how politically convenient it is for you to pave roads on this election year. You had 2.5 years to do it when the roads were empty during lockdowns. You could have done it then, but you chose not to. Your response to the pandemic was no more than a political response than it was a public health response. Crime, fear, inflation, the high cost of living are hurting our people, and you are blind to it and refuse to acknowledge it. So remove the scales from your eyes and unplug your ears and hear the cries of our people. You can't sugarcoat harm and destruction. Thank you very much. There is a new season coming. The light is coming. Vote Camacho at it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the Chamber of Commerce, thank you very much for your kind patience and decorum. Also, let's give a round of applause for both candidates.
Boy, I wish I had popcorn for all of that. That was some good stuff that happened yesterday.
I know.
And I was so happy. I was so happy that I went to that Chamber of Commerce debate. I was on the couch before, like, about 10:30, and I was like, I was like, should I go? And I called Zach and I was like, you need any help? And he was like, just come if you want. I was like, are there a lot of people there? You know, I don't like being in crowds. And he was like, just come. So I'm so happy I went. I thought it was going to be boring. It was not boring. Those two.
I was waiting outside.
You were outside waiting the whole time?
Yeah.
Were you watching it though, live?
I was watching it live. Yeah.
Oh boy, it was. And by the way, we cast it live on a lower resolution, but Zach and Jody they got the good camera and they recorded it with the good camera and the good audio, and so we'll post that on our YouTube page.
Yeah, we have highlights
later
after
and
our
yes,
show.
and we do have highlights. Well, getting back to the news, the campaigns responded to the debate performances of their candidates, each claiming their person won the debate. The Democrats issued a statement with a response from Governor Leon Guerrero about her challenger's closing statement. Ms. Leon Guerrero's response was, quote, "He knows me. He knows my family. It was awkward and I felt for him when he read his ending. That's not the Felix I know. I hope the chamber sees the thoughtful, visionary, forward-thinking plan we have for Guam and compares that to the old ideas of our opponent, things he could have done during his 8 years but did not." End quote.
The Republican Party of Guam issued a statement as well, stating, quote, "Today's gubernatorial forum hosted by the Guam Chamber of Commerce brought a sense of hope to the community, one which expresses that with an administration led by Governor Felix Camacho and Senator Tony Ada in Adelup, our people can thrive in a new season," end quote. That new season, according to the Republicans, is where addressing violent crimes and the meth epidemic is made a high priority, along with building and fixing schools and the hospital, addressing public corruption with proper procurement, and creating real solutions for the homeless and the people living on the margins of society.
Following the debate, Governor Leon Guerrero was whisked off to the GMH emergency room, where later she was able to produce a video where she assured the people of Guam she was okay. She was diagnosed with viral pneumonia and non-contagious viral pneumonia. And here's that video of the governor.
Half a day, I just want the people of Guam to be assured that I am doing well. As it was, I had some bouts of coughing the last few days. After the debate, I called my pulmonologist, Dr. Jolene Uggan, and she insisted that I come to ER to be evaluated. As it turned out, I have viral pneumonia, not contagious, and I am COVID negative. Yay for vaccines. Out of an abundance of caution, I am going to stay overnight for observation. I want to thank you for your prayers and your kind words, and we'll see you out there in the community. Sidzu'us Masi.
We joined the island in praying for the governor's speedy recovery.
Finally, if yesterday's battle wasn't dramatic enough, tonight, all eyes of the political world will be on a function Congressman Michael San Nicolas and Sabrina Salas Metanani are throwing to thank their supporters. Speculation is building that the former Democratic candidates for governor may be endorsing the Republican team at the function tonight and asking their thousands of supporters to do the same. Sources tell Kandit Governor Felix Camacho and Senator Tony Ada plan to be at the function to show their support for the team.
Now, when we come back, we'll bring you highlights from the debate. Stick with us. This will be exciting. Now forget about all these politics for a minute. Johnny coordinated something today that is the highlight of my year. Can you tell us, Chalu?
So I was online checking it out, and I noticed Nettie C, right?
Love her.
Okay, was on Guam because she was at a tattoo parlor, and the tattoo parlor is my daughter's best friend's place. So I'm like, is this bee on Guam or what? So I messaged her. I'm like, are you on Guam? Are you still here? And she says, yes, she's here till Sunday. I said, could you come on our show? And she said, yeah.
We are so honored. Today we're going to have Nettie C on our show at noon today. We're going to take her to a place, to one of our advertisers to do a little bit of a promotion there for our advertiser. We won't say where because, we want to respect her privacy. But first of all, I'm asking her for her autograph. Like, I'm going to print her picture and everything. I'm going to be like, can you please autograph my picture? I'm trying to figure out, like, because she loves shirts. Like, what local brand can we call up today and ask, can you sponsor a shirt for Nettie C? And so we'll see. But I'm so excited to meet her. Johnny's so excited to meet her. Nettie C, we don't even have to tell you who she is.
Yeah.
She's just this super popular.
Do real.
Oh my goodness, I love her so much. And so I couldn't care less about all of the politics by comparison to our meeting with Nettie C today.
I'm just trying to stick to being your favorite, okay?
Oh yeah. No, that goes without saying. That goes without saying, Chalu. But I really want to meet Nettie C. I love her so much. Now, a statement came in. Thank you so much, Sean Gumatautsao, the senior advisor to the Camacho Ada campaign, because we didn't get this yesterday. But he sent a statement asking if we got it. I said no, and let me just read it to you. This is from the Camacho Ada campaign. They say, Governor Luliang Guerrero spent nearly 2 hours telling the people of Guam that this election is about the record of Felix Camacho. The 2022 general election is all about the record of Luliang Guerrero. Governor Camacho was last at Adelup on December 31, 2010. Governor Camacho was able to articulate his plans for the economy and his view on crime and homelessness from a personal perspective. His new season platform outlines his plans for these and other issues important to the people of Guam. Felix and Tony will not forget that the Guam Chamber of Commerce is a critical partner to help the government of Guam rebuild a Micronesian society that has known prosperity, achieved with hard work and compassion, and not a federal handout. A Camacho Ada administration commits to bring about the expansion of our island economy that is beneficial to all and not just a few. Did you hear? There were shots fired yesterday. No, there was more than shots fired. There was blood drawn yesterday.
Yeah, they brought up the big guns.
Oh my goodness! Did you hear when I think it was Governor Camacho definitely was the one that said, it doesn't matter if you're in or you're out. He said, he really went for it. He talked about the police cars. He said, "What kind of police cars are Mitsubishis?" And then Governor Luliang Guerrero, not to be outdone, she was like, "You did nothing, Felix, nothing." It was great. That was the debate I wish Governor Luliang Guerrero and Congressman Michael Nicholas had. I wish they really went at it, but the congressman was way more reserved. And I remember having a conversation with Mike Nicholas months ago. And I was like, Congressman, if you make it into the general election, don't underestimate Felix Camacho. Uh-huh. He is the most masterful at debating that I've ever seen in gubernatorial elections. Carl Gutierrez, very good. He can really connect with people, and he just knows where to have those crescendos. Robert Underwood was just so eloquent, but in terms of relating to people and just really speaking directly into people's hearts.
Yeah.
Man, Felix Camacho is really good at it. And so, now that they've had this first debate, I'm sure the Luliang Guerrero team is preparing for the next one and, how to counter that kind of influence that Governor Camacho has when he gets on a stage and he talks to a crowd of people. It's actually quite masterful. And we're gonna bring you these highlights. We're gonna bring you these highlights. I believe it's 22 minutes long, from special points during the debate yesterday that Isaac put together. And after that, we ask you to join us in turning our attention to Cousin Ray Gibson's The Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 FM The Point. It's the only morning talk show of any significance or consequence here on Guam, every weekday from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. You can also watch them where we watch them on Facebook Live at The Point Guam. You can also watch them on YouTube Live on The Ray Gibson Show. And without further ado, here are highlights from yesterday's debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, your candidates.
My brothers and sisters of the chamber, 4 years ago, the gubernatorial candidates took this very stage before you to make their case for your vote and support. It was a very different time than times we face today. And for those of you who might have a difficult time remembering, let me walk you back. 4 years ago, a record number of new businesses were opening their doors and expanding. Unemployment was at an all-time low, and local families were returning from the mainland to fill them. New healthcare facilities were opening, and specialty services expanding. Public safety task forces were making a dent in crime and drugs, and on a weekly basis, we were deporting non-U.S. citizen criminals back to their homes, never to return. Statistics showed that crime was declining in numerous categories. The prison population even went down. High school graduation rates were up by 14%. The dropout rate was down by 46%. The inventory of affordable housing was increasing year after year. Household income was up by 18%, increasing your purchasing power. And in the 16 years prior, more land was given to landless Chamorro families than any other time in our history. 4 short years ago, the future of our island was bright. My opponent is presiding over the largest government budget in our island's history, over $1 billion. On top of this, more federal funding has been poured into our island than any other time in our island's history. Despite all this money, we went from a season of record number of businesses opening their doors to a record number of businesses closing their doors, building new schools to an administration that cannot manage getting the new Simon Sanchez High School off the ground. Providing more land to the landless families than ever before is what we did, to the governor's policy of taking land away from original landowners for a stagnant hospital plan. Rising family and household income and purchasing power to a season where fathers and mothers are struggling just to keep the lights on and put food on the table. And today, 4 years later, drug addiction is on the rise, crime is on the rise, and we wake up to news stories of our Monaco and veterans living out of their cars in tents, wondering, how did we ever get here? Where we are today is not due to a lack of money. It is due to a lack of leadership. In the last 4 years, without a seat at the table, the business community endured 71 executive orders with emergency declarations that still remain to this day, ordering you to close your business, telling you who could open their businesses and what time, how many customers could enter your business, who could and could not eat at your business, vaccinated versus unvaccinated, with military roadblocks restricting your ability to travel. And you were even ordered not to exercise outdoors. This was a clear overreach of administration, violating your constitutional rights. Your freedoms were taken away. And this is where we are 4 years later. It is not political rhetoric. It is a fact.
When I attended this forum 4 years ago, my number one priority was getting our financial house in order because the government couldn't afford to do anything until we did. After 8 years in office, my opponent recorded the largest GovGuam deficit ever, over $500 million. He tripled our debt and drained our public coffers. And he handed the next generation $100 million in annual debt payments. When Josh and I took office, the general fund deficit stood at $84 million. We simply rolled up our sleeves, got to work, and we cut that deficit in half months before COVID. Through improved collections, holding the line on expenses, and ending court-ordered receiverships, we turned Guam around. The deficit is now gone, and for the first first time in recent memory, we're paying vendors in 30 days, individual tax returns in 4 weeks, and we're putting real cash into our rainy day fund. But it wasn't easy. COVID brought the worst year for all economies since World War II. While Guam has always proven our economy can recover very strong after a crisis, not even the strongest economy in the world can recover human life. I've spoken to many family members who lost loved ones. I felt their pain, and I will never forget them. But I know the actions I took were the right ones, to protect your lives and the lives of those you loved. Josh and I knew the toll this was taking. I'm a businesswoman too. So we pumped over $1.2 billion exactly to businesses and families to help everyone get through. Once most of us were vaccinated, we guided our island back to recovery. A recovery that is working. Look at Tumon, look at construction starts and new business licenses. Look at unemployment numbers. After rising to over 19% during COVID, unemployment is back down to 5.1% as of March this year. That is a lower unemployment rate than all 8 years under my opponent, and it's still failing. Our financial house is strong. Our tourism rebound is far exceeding forecasts. Our people are getting trained and back to work. Now it's time to choose who will lead us into prosperity. I ask each of you, vote for Lou and Josh. Choose to keep Guam moving forward.
Public Law 3654 mandates the hiring of law enforcement officers to increase our public safety annually. However, many believe Guam is not safe. First question, what is your position on this statement? Second question, what steps will your administration take to keep our neighborhoods, streets, and businesses safe?
Public safety is a very strong priority of our administration. Crime certainly is also present in our island. The way to secure the safety of our people is to put more police officers on the ground. That is why Josh and I raised the salaries the first time in decades for our law enforcement. We saw our law enforcement going to other higher paying jobs, and we saw attrition. We wanted to keep our public officers. We wanted to keep our public officers so that they can go out and protect businesses, protect homes, protect the schools.
In my time as governor, we built a northern police station. We built a southern police station. We equipped, we hired, we promoted, we gave pay raises. We did everything we could. And the police department responded very well. She talks about the fact that they gave raises, not just to police officers. Whatever she promised, it was given to other safety officers. I always feel that the police officer who's on the street has a higher risk because on a daily basis, they are out there in front of the people. They're out there dealing with every situation, be it domestic, be it commercial. Crime is on the rise. And there is so much fear in this community. You open the paper every single day, you can turn to the front page or the third page and you'll see a crime committed, be it violence, be it robbery, be it drug-addicted individuals, be it just randomness that's going out there. But we have provided for the police. For her to say that that didn't happen, has she built any police station? Has she provided any equipment? They're running around in Mitsubishis. What kind of police cars are those? I believe that we have to declare a state of emergency. If there's ever a state of emergency that needs to be declared, it is with the Guam Police Department, and it is with public safety to fight crimes and to fight drugs. We have to get together a multi-agency approach towards this. And it's true, many police officers have been leaving for higher pay. They should receive premium pay above all other public safety officers because their lives are on the line every single day.
We did open a police station right there in Sinahan.
Was there any Cabo?
No, it was opened during my administration. And so We are aware of the resources that our police officers need to do their jobs. We are opening a station also in Telefofo, the eastbound station, and that's to provide more services to the south.
What are some areas that you believe can be reduced or eliminated from government auspices or control that will not have a bearing on the services the government of Guam provides?
In my time, we reduced government employment by about 1,000 employees by attrition, by retirement. In fact, we had to work and provide the funding that several agencies, be it autonomous or line agencies, were not able to provide the government share towards retirement to get them off the payroll and get them into retirement. But we also at that time recognized the need to take the Guam Telephone Authority, which was the last government publicly owned utility in the United States, and go private because we couldn't keep up with technology. We consolidated agencies. We brought about efficiencies. And right now, I believe that there is a real need. We also at that time took, for example, the school lunch programs within DOE and privatized it. There are many opportunities when you look throughout the government of Guam where services can be better provided by the private sector. And it would be a wonderful opportunity to work with the members of the Chamber of Commerce to identify where are these services that can be better performed by the private sector that are currently under government operation. Private sector brings about efficiency, it brings about investment. They have the creativity, they have the resources, they have the ability to bring in others. They don't have to deal with procurement. We need to find ways to improve procurement processes. We have to take a look at all the systems within government.
I think it's more important to address efficiency of government in that sense. And I'll tell you, our administration has improved the efficiency of government. We've improved tax collection to the point where we retired the deficit in 2.5 years in a pandemic, and we created a unemployment insurance during the pandemic that pushed out a lot of help to our people. We've streamlined processes. We have looked at automation. We've automated FMS at the Port Authority. We've automated driver's license. We've automated single filing. So much so that tax returns are given back to our people within 4 weeks. And we did not even have to borrow money, like my opponent did.
What is it you face with a lot of times when you want to build something or develop it? You're stuck with the building and operating permits, or the building permits at DPW. Occupancy permits happen. The delays are occurring every single time. It slows down development. And if you're able to get through the building or the operating permit or the building permits, you're waiting then for occupancy. Vandalism occurs, destruction to your property. It slows down development, and it delays the revenues that are able to come into the government. You talk about business licenses. How long does it take for you to get one? Driver's license. You need to make an appointment and wait for months to get it. The efficiencies and the problems that are happening here in the government is that they're still operating under COVID-19 guidelines and restrictions. Why not open it up? We're at 99% vaccination rates already. Herd immunity has been long achieved.
Every day we read the newspapers or watch the news. Violent crimes against people and property permeate the top stories. The cost of methamphetamine has dramatically reduced in recent years, indicating there is an abundance of supply on the island. If elected, what would you do to combat this drug issue plaguing our island?
When my opponent took office, she dismantled the multitask agency Mandanya Task Force. Statistics show that they were very effective in reducing the amount of drugs on the streets, coming into our island, capturing drug dealers, working with federal officials in the federal court and local court, and ensuring that they put a tremendous deterrent against drug abuse, against the sale of drugs on our island and on our streets. How many of you have seen the lives of our young individuals completely ruined? Every single one of us has a family member or relative that is dealing with drug abuse. Every one of us has seen the violence that is out happening on the streets right now.
I deputized law enforcement people so they can go to the post office every day, 7 days, 5 days a week, to monitor and confiscate drugs that are coming in. Within the last 3 years, we confiscated 480 pounds of methamphetamine. I also, after decades of not having a detox unit, created a detox unit. Lo and behold, we knew and found that there had been money sitting in a federal grant account that could be used for detox during his administration. Why was it not done? I'll tell you why. Because it takes a nurse who understands the health care, who understands the importance of prevention, who understands the importance of treatment, who understands the social and economic needs of that drug addict, who looks at drug addiction in a healthcare holistic perspective. That's what it took. A person in healthcare who knows about healthcare delivery system and who can move healthcare delivery system to truly deliver and address the needs and the struggles and the pain that families have to go through because of drugs in our island.
But the reality of living on this island, I've lived on the streets, man. I know what's happening out there. The people I deal with on a daily basis and the people that are out there on the streets that deal with the real life issues of our people, that's the reality, not what she's pointing out. The hurt, the pain, the suffering, and the drug abuse that is out there is actually absolutely real. How many prisoners are up there right now that have not even been able to see their families in over 2 years? Where are the faith-based initiatives that are available to help? Because you can heal a person. If we think that all we're going to use are these common sense and typical government programs to resolve the issues, it takes more than that. It takes a holistic approach. It is going to require faith-based initiatives where we can bring in the power of our Lord to help change their lives.
In the world of investments, past performance is a strong indicator of future performance. So where should you invest your vote in November? My opponent's performance over 8 years included the largest increase in government borrowing and debt, the highest number of homelessness, and the worst record on tourism in 30 years. And though we can't forget the past, together we are turning a new page. I have never been more confident in our ability to perform, to strengthen and grow Guam's future. I am confident not simply because I am governor, but because of the determination and will of you, the people of Guam. I see it in every small business person who fought through the pandemic and stood by your employees. I see it in the strong return of tourism. Flights are already back at 50% from pre-COVID numbers. Restaurants are busting at the seams. $14 million in hotel upgrades are nearly done. And unemployment has recovered to 5% and it's still falling. I feel it in the new investments being made in broadband, in our march toward better health care for all, and in the strides we are making toward moving more and more services online. We will all rise with a strong economy that will boost our revenues and bring new jobs. I am ready to work harder for you, to expand the circle of opportunities for everyone, to realize the biggest infrastructure build in a generation, including a new hospital, to make our streets safer and repay the debt we owe for our veterans. Our future is bright. Please join Josh and I to move Guam forward, and I humbly ask for your vote.
When someone is given power and authority, their character is revealed. Lou, you have used your executive authority under a declared state of emergency to do whatever you wanted, issuing 71 executive orders, and have governed like a dictator. The legislature had no role, the businesses had no say, and you did as you pleased. The unforeseen consequences of your decisions are now manifesting. It's all on you. You are responsible for all that has happened. You called the shots. You have overreached your authority. You have used fear as a weapon. You have demanded compliance, saying, do as I say, or you will suffer the consequences. Surrender your freedoms and citizen rights, and I will give you money to survive. Big Gov Guam, using federal dollars given to us, will take care of you. You have created a situation where people are now dependent on government welfare. This is not good for our people. The great quit, the great resignation has taken place. Why work when one can stay home and get federal money for free? There's a huge labor shortage affecting our hotels, our restaurants and retail operations, and other businesses. Over $2 billion in federal dollars was given to Guam, but all the money in the world cannot buy the voters. They cannot buy their hearts and the minds of the people. They'll take the free money. Who wouldn't? But you cannot buy the votes to secure this election. Our people are not for sale. You brag about deficit elimination and surplus. With a $2 billion plus money given to us by the federal government, even Mickey Mouse could handle that. So how politically convenient it is for you to pave roads on this election year. You had 2.5 years to do it when the roads were empty during lockdowns. You could have done it then, but you chose not to. Your response to the pandemic was no more than a political response than it was a public health response. Crime, fear, inflation, the high cost of living are hurting our people, and you are blind to it and refuse to acknowledge it. So remove the scales from your eyes and unplug your ears and hear the cries of our people. You can't sugarcoat harm and destruction. Thank you very much. There is a new season coming. The light is coming. Vote Camacho Ada. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the Chamber of Commerce, thank you very much for your kind patience and decorum. Also, let's give a round of applause for both candidates.